All right, so today I'm putting together our pumpkin file, which is just a little box shape, rounded box shape with a lid on it. Kind of cute, can make it in fun different patterns, make it fall, make it Halloween, whatever you want. To start, we've got 8 panels that are all identical. So it doesn't matter which one you start with. You don't have to fold exactly along the lines, but just kind of encourage it to curl. Pre-fold this one down a bit, and then fold all of these in. Just makes it a little bit easier when you go to glue. And then do that at least to the next one before we start putting them together. This one wants to come in because that's going to hold the bottom in place. So there we go. It's nice and curved. Going to take our glue. I like to start just a little bit on the first one. It's a little bit too much, that's okay. There we go. Position it just right. And make sure that the bottom corner here is nicely lined up. Sometimes use the tab on the wrong side there, just to kind of help make sure I get a good position. Once your glue is set, push that behind. And then I'm going to come back here, add just a little bit of glue to this one. Might do about 3 or 4 tabs at a time. Kind of depends on how you're feeling, how your glue sets. Black is terrible for showing glue, if any escapes at all, like a little bit down here, but that's okay, because we've got some pretty decorative panels that we're going to put on to cover it up and kind of give it this nice smooth look. And like this one's got a couple of different colors going on, gives a little something extra. So I'll just keep going and finish this whole row here. And once I get this done, I'll just move to the next one and the next one until they're all finished. The very top, that last one is just a little bit different, because as you can see, it tips downward. So all of them come around and then it tips down. So once we get up to that one, we're going to encourage it to go down, but it's not really going to take that position too strong until we get towards the end of the assembly of the pumpkin panels. I'll just do 4. And got all those in place. You want to stay nice and close to your fold line just so everything is in position real well. There we go. Give each tab a little squeeze. And then a little glue on there. Put that down. There we go. And this top here will take a little bit more of a downward slant once we get a whole bunch of them done. But I'm going to just continue on, just keep going. Fold all of these, and there's 8 panels total. So you just kind of keep going until all of them are in place. Just add a little more glue. Again, start at that bottom. And once that's in position, then I'm going to add glue and continue all the way up. All right, for the last panel, to put it into place, you can see it tends to curl on itself as you're building. I'm sure you noticed that. That's fine. It doesn't matter. But what I like to do for the last panel, because it is curling in, I actually put it up on both sides at the same time. That may not be what works for you. Go ahead and try what you like best. I like to put a couple of these in position and then go do it on the other side and keep going back and forth and work my way up. For me at least, that seems to make it easiest to hold on to and to maneuver and things like that. But if it works better, you can just do this side and then the other. I just feel like I can get the glue in position a little easier and everything the way it should be. If now I come over here and glue this one. And this is a pretty big pumpkin, so I can reach around into it a little easier. Just kind of get that in place and then just hold it and let the glue set. Got a little too much in there, so it's going to take a second. I just refilled my glue bottle and it's going like mad. All right, there we go. Just Gonna add a little bit more, kind of match what I've got going on the other side. Looks like I went up to about there. And just kind of pop it out. There we go. And hold it in position. I like to try to get my glue real close to that fold line, which is why I have a little escapee sometimes. But that way there's no gaps that are forming when I'm trying to put it together later. And I can just fold this back. Just a little glue in here. And hold that into position. And I've got my left hand in here kind of pushing from the other side to kind of make a little pressure on that glue to get a good hold. And then I can come over here and up there. So I got about, oops, see what I mean? Got a little bit I can put here. Slide it behind. I like to use that last tab without any glue as a way of helping position it, getting it where it is I want it to be. There we go. It can be a little tricky there. There we go. Reach around. Just get a little bit of a push, a little pressure. Thankfully this glue sets pretty fast, especially if I'm good about not putting too much on. And then I can add, let's do about 3 more. A little too much there. There we go. The nice thing is all of this will be covered up. So if you're like me and you're having a rough day with your glue, it's fine. It'll all be covered, it'll be pretty, and nobody will ever know that it went and did that on you. There we go. Just work your way up, side to side. Oops, it slipped on me. There we go. Right, and then it's just these last 2 on either side, and you've got the pumpkin shape complete. There we go. And then this part here will actually be going down. So I'm going to only glue this 1 tab. Get that into position. Let that glue get set just right. Because I'm actually going to angle it downward, like this one here. Go ahead and have it in that position a little bit already when I'm putting this glue on the final tab in place. That way I don't have to try to pop it down or something that risks getting a little tear or some kind of a funny bend going on. So I just go ahead, hold it down. So I didn't quite perfectly line those up at the start, so it's off just a tiny bit. You can see my bend here is not quite lined up, but that's okay. It is pretty forgiving. It's not going to be a problem. Reach in there. There we go. Top of my pumpkin going. I'm going to turn it over. We're on the bottom. And take the bottom panel, just got the one, and apply glue a little bit there. And just put on one side to start with. Make sure you get it nicely lined up. Just right, centered. So once this is in place, we're going to go ahead and glue all of the tabs down and position that. So usually I have something long like a ruler or a pencil or something I can use to reach down and push on these tabs. I unfortunately do not have one at my desk right now, but I will should be able to reach in with my hand this time. It's a pretty big pumpkin. If not, I'll figure something out. But I'm going to just go ahead and go around. That tab is nice and secure. Got a little more glue over there. Put some glue in place here. Got all those. Then I'm going to fold this down. Give a little bit of an adjustment here, get it positioned the best you can. Once I feel like it's starting to stick a bit, I can turn it over, and that's when I'm going to reach in and push down a little bit to keep those in place. Let's close off my glue, and I'll just use my glue to do that today. There we go. Just reach down there. I just want to push on those tabs a little bit, make sure that they're sticking. There. That looks pretty good. All right, so there we go. Bottom is in position. We have ourselves a pumpkin. So now I'm going to take my decorative pieces, and again, I'm going to encourage it to curve. Just use my hands. Maybe you have a dowel or something that you could use. But we're going to attach it to the sides here. I've gone ahead and inked along the edges. That's just a personal choice. You don't have to do any of that if you're not want to or don't have the material for it. Just a little bit of glue at the top. And then line that top up right here. I like to make sure to get the first one in really good before I just turn it over. Add a touch of glue along the bottom there. My hands are shaking real bad. There we go. And now it's in position. I'm going to keep working my way around. I've decided I want to have it alternate the decorations. So this time, if it's easier for you, you can also just put your line of glue up above and down below. And then like it. And hold it in position. You want to make sure your top especially is lined up really good, because that's the part where it's actually going to be a little bit visible. Down here it's kind of hiding down on the bottom. Nobody's ever going to see it if you're off just a tiny bit. But you do want to try to keep it as square and straight as possible. Just kind of get your pumpkin there. All right, then I'm going to continue and go all the way around my pumpkin with my different pieces. All right, so we got them all on here. You can go a little slower and be more precise and careful than I am right now. I just don't want to have you spend forever watching me put a panel on. It'll be a little cleaner, I'm sure, when you're doing your project. You can take a little more time. The next step we're going to do is you've got these two little pieces, and they are going to make the lid. So actually there's a little cut fold line that you can use there. I'm going to just fold all of these here, fold my little tab, and then I'm going to go back and fold these pieces so that I can attach a little octagon panel here in just a moment. So, got it all folded. We'll take our glue, attach just a little bit. And then hold it in place. I got the tab on the back side here because it's going to sit like this, and I don't want to have to see the overlapping tab. So I've got my nice pretty paper here. All right, and then this is just going to go in the center. I like to add just a little bit of glue to each tab as I go around in a circle here. Doesn't take much. And again, you can be a little more precise and careful. You just don't need to spend forever watching me put glue on tabs. So I'm going to just start on one side and lay it down. Might have to hold the side in just a little bit to position it. But there you go. Your lid is done. At least that step. It's all done. And if you want, you can cut a second piece to cover these tabs up. We've done it before, but not usually. You're not going to really see it. It's going to sit in here. And then over here, of course, I didn't do those as precise as I could, otherwise it'd sit in there a little better. I'm going to just kind of use my fingers to encourage this to curl. I'm not going to fold on this line here because I don't want a really strong bend in my stem. So I'm going to just kind of encourage it to fold, or curl around. Then you can just see where that line is, and that's just where I'm going to put my glue, but I'm not going to fold on there. So I'm going to curl this around. And there we go. I'll hold that in place. Make sure that is good and strong, because that is going to be our little stem in the center. There we go. Kind of looks like a crown. I'm going to fold in these little tabs here. And this is where it gets a little finicky, because we couldn't slide one inside to really force it to be nice and round. So it's going to be like a real pumpkin and a little bit wonky. That's okay. But doing the best you can. Put this in here as a nice little circle. And if you want to start and just do a couple tabs at a time and work your way around from there, you can. It's just going to be a little hard to reach in there. We're just going to hold a few in position at a time. Kind of work our way around. And there we go. Give a little push from this side. Encourage it to be in there. Normally I'd sit here and hold it for a little while. I tend to watch the same couple of TV shows over and over again, so I have something to do while I sit and wait. But right now we'll just kind of be quick. There we go. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there and right there. And then I'm going to aim for center and just hold it down. And that is going to keep our stem in position. And then we have a couple little leaves that I've embossed and inked. And I like to actually just kind of give them a little fold. You can choose to fold them a little different or a little extra. So what I'm actually going to do is put some glue on here and wrap my stem with my twine before attaching these on here. But I'll do that part off camera. Here we chose just to wrap twine around the bottom. Did it a couple times, put a bow, and then we put our leaves kind of against each other. Over here we wrapped the whole thing in twine, and as we made our laps I added a little glue in a couple places, so this is actually really secure. Tied it off, have these. To be a little different with the Halloween papers we used, we ended up using this black tulle we found at the craft store. You can actually have tons of colors of this in like the wedding section. You can get real creative. But once it's all glued together, we put those on, put it on, tied it off. Glue doesn't work too great on this, actually. It doesn't seem to really want to hold on to it, so this is just tied. And then we put the leaves on. It seems easier for us, at least, to put the leaves on after doing it, just so that they're not sticking out in the way and getting bent and stuff. But there you go. That is our pumpkin file.